Higher education has no shortage of smart, dedicated people. Maybe that's you. Maybe you were successful in your last job. You were excellent, helped operate and serve. People appreciated you and gave you praise. You even got a promotion to a more senior leadership role. And now something feels off. It's not catastrophically off, but you're hardworking, dedicated, and busier than ever. And yet you're noticing this bit of friction in your experience. You're working so hard, but you're barely staying afloat. The tools that used to serve you so well are no longer serving you as well. And you start to wonder, maybe I should have never have left that last role. Maybe that was my sweet spot. You wouldn't be the first senior leader to feel this way. It's all too common, and it doesn't have to be that way. Today, I want to talk about 3 paradoxes of higher education leadership that create that friction, get in people's way, slow things down, and keep very high potential leaders from exercising the kind of leadership that can create the kind of transformational change we all need. The 3 paradoxes are the promotion paradox, the expertise paradox, and the learning paradox. The promotion paradox is that the capacities, the skills, talents, and capabilities that served you so well in the last role, that made you successful, that got you that recognition, that got you that praise, that got you the promotion at your own institution, or maybe elevated at a different institution, are not the capabilities that will make you successful in this role. This isn't a larger version of the last job. It's very different work. And if you can realize that different capacity, that different level, you can be successful in this new role. What makes this hard is we have to give up what we're familiar with, what has served us, what has gotten us all that praise and affirmation, and instead embrace something new, unfamiliar, and uncomfortable. The expertise paradox is that the expertise that has made you successful, that you spent a decade or 2 developing in your academic discipline or your administrative function, is not the expertise that was needed in this new senior leadership role. Now you need a whole new level of leadership expertise to operate at the highest levels of these institutions of higher education, to lead through uncertainty, to navigate complexity and the unknown, to exercise influence where you have responsibility, but you don't have authority. These are new areas of expertise, and they have to be built and developed. They don't just all of a sudden arrive with a new leadership title. And the assumption that that does is one of the biggest obstacles in higher education leadership. This leads us to the learning paradox. Now, higher education's entire purpose is learning, growth, and development. We want to help students learn and grow and develop to be successful in their careers as citizens, as neighbors, and as human beings. And despite that central purpose, that central focus on learning and growth, we don't take that approach with higher education leaders. We more take a selection approach, a fixed mindset, and then we evaluate whether they were the right person or not. We do a terrible job of investing in higher education leaders, helping them develop the capabilities and capacities, helping them learn the new levels of expertise. And we don't invest in their support, in their growth, in their learning from mistakes, and growing into the positions. The development that we do offer is often a miss. We have conferences that are not really designed for higher education leaders. Sure, it might be great to catch up with old friends and colleagues, to connect with a peer who's in a similar pickle as you over a beverage, but these conferences are rarely designed to help senior leaders advance in their craft. Generic consultants offer generic solutions that aren't really designed for the higher education culture, context, or purpose. Telling a provost how to lead like a startup CEO might sound fancy and expensive, but it's not going to serve the provost leading an institution of higher education. And individual coaches are super helpful. We do lots of it, but they advance the individual leader and not the team, the organization, and the institution. If we want to lead for institutional transformation and change, we need something better. These paradoxes compound. A leader might not be developing the expertise they need for their new role and not developing the capacities that they need to be successful. And without meaningful institutional support, they're not going to learn and grow into the leader that they have the full potential to become. This is the problem Evolve was designed to solve. My colleagues, Drs. Brian Rao and Don Lee, and I have decades of experience leading in higher education. We also have terminal degrees in higher education leadership. This is our expertise. Evolve is designed from the ground up to help these leaders be successful, to help them develop the expertise to lead at the senior levels, develop the capacities and skills and talents and capabilities so that they can be successful, so they can be effective not just as individual leaders, but leading their teams, their organizations, and their institutions towards transformational change so that these institutions can serve them, their communities, and ultimately the students that we serve. If you recognize 1, 2, or 3 of these higher ed leadership paradoxes getting in the way of your leadership, we'd love to be helpful. We help individual leaders and leadership teams be successful to create the courageous leadership for transformation we all need. If this sounds like it'd be helpful for you, let's connect.